next year for sure.
Okay, please keep it coming, beloved people. One thing you want to achieve next year, one thing in your bucket list. So what's that one thing that you want to have on your bucket list? There may be a lot of them, but just share with us one thing you want to have on your bucket list for 2025. More rest. Okay,
Rest.
good. Thank you. Sam Dami said, learning new idea that workout. Okay, that's fantastic. Yes, please keep it coming. One thing, I intend to grow my mind. Good. Continuous improvement. Good.
Okay.
Oh, improving myself. Afoma, fantastic. Where to invest? Oh, good. Very good. Get another stream of income. Wusi says investment culture. Very good. Investment in my career. That's Anita Okufo. Inform Nsimaiko. So being very intentional. Fantastic. Yeah, that's great. Thank you for your feedback. Kesiena says being more consistent. That's great.
Wow.
Janet Ekong, this one I would like to read it because I'm seeing NAFDAC here. Get my products registered by NAFDAC so I can expand. Beautiful. That's a good one. Wow. Cultivate God's presence more. This is really nice. Oh, great. Be more intentional in my parenting skills. And then this from Brown, one software to improve my profession. Great. Thank you so much for your feedback. Ma, you have the floor. We can go ahead now.
Great. Fantastic. So I've seen wonderful things on people's bucket lists. And that's why we are here. A lot of us would have so many things, but actualizing it is the issue. We'll start from last week. I hope we had time to rest, and we also had time to do the assignments, because it's always good that after you learn a little, you do a little. But if you just keep learning and you don't do anything, then you'll just be moving in circles, and I'm sure that won't be our portion. So we are here again to empower ourselves, to prepare ourselves for next year. And we remember that we are looking at unlock your potential, strategies to becoming the unstoppable you. So let's dive into today's class. But remember, it will be engaging and very, very interactive. So we should be ready to engage. Please, the ground rules have been set. This is just for 1 hour, 30 minutes or 2 hours. Let's just focus and do what we have to do. So thank you. And then I'll start by sharing my slides now. So the outline for today, recap from last week, strategies to becoming the unstoppable you. The fourth strategy is build powerful habits. The fifth strategy is leverage on the power of relationships. The sixth, master your time and energy. And the seventh, invest in personal growth. So this is the outline we have for today. By God's grace, we'll be able to, go through all this. So I'll start with asking this question. 2 lessons we got from part 1 of the webinar, 2 lessons. Please, let's keep the chat box going.
Okay.
So, Dr. Lynn, let's just have 2 lessons.
2 lessons. All right. So we want to hear from you. Kindly put in chat service 2 lessons you learned from last week. Okay. Are we typing? Let's keep it going. We want to hear from you 2 lessons. I know some of us had already shared a few things, but we'd also like to hear from the others. 2 things you've learned, you learned from last week. Okay. Oh, thank you, Charity Tony Uba. She said growth and self-awareness. Thank you for that feedback. Okay, keep it coming. We just need to see a few more, then we'll get going with the session. Good. Happiness motivated to invest in my personal growth. Well done. Thanks for that feedback. Okay.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, everyone. It's always good to, take something home and keep it. Because what happens is most times after any class or webinar, people will be motivated and excited, but at the end of the day, maybe after a week or so, they don't remember what they learned or because they didn't use it. So that's why I want us to, go back to what we did last week. So I'll just quickly go through it. Last week, we looked at what is potential. And I think I would use a quote from Joyce Meyer. She said that potential is a priceless treasure like gold. It is a priceless treasure like gold. And this treasure is found in everyone, but we need to dig it up. So it's something that is innate, every human being. So far as you are born of God, you have potential in you, but you need to work on it. You need to dig it out. So that's what potential is. And we talked about unlocking it. You need to use the key that unlocks it. And we said, okay, how do we unlock this potential? And we agreed that growth is the only solution. You cannot unlock your potential except you grow in any area that you have interest. And we also said, why is it that we are not growing? And then a lot of things were said. For one that was very common was procrastination. Another one, lack of knowledge. Another one is you want everything to be perfect before you start. Another one was fear of failing. Inferiority complex, I'm not good enough, and so many others. We looked at that. Then we looked at the strategies to become the unstoppable you. The first one we looked at is self-awareness, and we said, you must know yourself to grow yourself. You must know yourself to succeed. And looking at that, we looked at the SWOT analysis. You carry out a SWOT analysis of yourself, an honest appraisal of yourself. And that is your strengths, your weakness, your opportunities, and your threats. And we said you could do that with personality test or DISC assessment. I hope we took time out to do that because that is the starting point. If you don't know yourself, there is no way, I'm so sorry, that you will unlock your potential. Then the second one is setting powerful, actionable goals. And we talked about setting SMART goals. And we also gave an assignment was given on SMART goals. And SMART goals are goals that, is a framework. Your goals need to be specific. They need to be measurable. They need to be attainable. They need to be relevant and then time bound. And we said, you set this SMART goal for all areas. For example, your spiritual area, you need to set a SMART goal. Your relationship, you need to set a SMART goal. Your finances, you need to set a SMART goal. So you just need to do SMART goal for all of them, depending on your area of interest. Then the third thing we looked at was mindset mastery. And mindset mastery simply talks about having a growth mindset. Without a growth mindset, you cannot reach or fulfill your potential. So having looked at all this that we looked at last week, we are going to look at the remaining 4 strategies. There are many, we don't have time, but this kind of class should last for about 6 weeks. But we're just going to touch different, things. But at the end of the day, I believe this will empower us and equip us for our next level. So we go quickly to the 4th strategy. And the 4th strategy is build powerful habits. Build powerful habits. What are habits? Habits are things we do repeatedly. When we talk about things we do repeatedly, we talk about things that we do without even thinking. It's just like sleeping and waking up. If you have a habit of reading, you just find yourself reading. If you have a habit of you have a habit of hard work or excellence, it will show in everything you do. So you see some people, anything they put their hand to do, it's always on point. They have built that habit. Habits are a constant companion. They are our greatest helper or heaviest burden. We have good and bad habits. Depending on your habits, they will make or break you. So habits is like two sides of a coin. It can be your helper or it can be your heaviest burden. It depends on what you want. If you have good habits, then it will help you. It will help you to get to the zenith of your life. But if you have bad habits, it will push or pull you down. There are many people that have issues. When you go back and check, it has to do with habits. Habits of laziness, habits of procrastination, habits of lack of integrity, and so forth and so on. Depending on your habits again, I have said it will break or make you. So habits of having bad friends, habits of, not doing what you have to do. Habits of just, some people have the habit of being angry. So the bad habits you have, and eating when you're not supposed to eat, and you start having health issues, weight issues. So it just depends on the kind of, person you want to become. All successful people have good habits. If you take your time to study them, they have good habits and they have inculcated good habits. The good thing about habits is you are not born with them. You inculcate them. You can learn them. So there are things that you can learn. I would want us to look at this quote from Samuel Smiles. He says, sow a thought and you reap an action. Sow an act and you reap a habit. Sow a habit and you reap a character. Sow a character and you reap a destiny. So basically, everything starts from your thought. Everything. If you want to be a thief, let me start with the bad one. It starts from your thoughts. Oh, you begin to imagine, taking someone's thing, something that does not belong to you. And you begin to say, then you say, okay, how will I steal this thing? When nobody's watching, I will steal it. That is the act. Then before you know it, when you have stolen the first time and maybe you are not caught, you think, it becomes a habit. And then before you know it, you are labeled your character. You are now a thief. And then how will your destiny be? It will be ruined. Now let's look at successful people like Thomas Edison, who, invented the light bulb. He first of all thought of, how can I light this place? How can I bring light? How can I invent, something that will give light to people? He thought about it and he swung into action by doing what he needed to do. And then when I say habit, whether you like it or not, he kept doing it, because before that light bulb was invented, it took him 1,000 times to achieve that. So it became a habit. I'm sure every day he wakes up, he will go try it. He will not, he will fail. He continued, and then it became part of him. And then that was his destiny, to become who he. So it's not only about, because at times when we look at habits, we think, okay, it just has to do with your character. So you become, that person that you want to be by inculcating the right habits. If you have a habit of adding value to people, at every point in time, you'll be thinking in your mind, when you wake up in the morning, what good can I do for someone? And before you know it, your character will be someone that you emanate, everywhere you go to, goodness, goodness, goodness. That's all you. And then your destiny, you will be like Dorcas in the Bible. who was so good that even in death, people said, no, she can't die. We have to do something. And they brought all the things, she had done for them. So habits will either make us or break us. I want us to look at how can we now inculcate powerful habits that will make us unstoppable. The first one is to be proactive. We need to have the habit, we need to take responsibility for our life. Be on the driver's seat of your destiny. Don't be a passenger in your life. Take responsibility. According to Steve Covey, he said that there are two sets of people in life. People that are reactive and people that are proactive. Proactive people are people that take their destinies in their hands. They know what they want and they know where they are going. They don't blame they take ownership. They don't blame people for anything. They don't say, it is because of you that I didn't do this. You spoiled my day. If not for you, I should have done this. No. They take responsibility for their lives. And when you take ownership of your life, that you will now have the ability to succeed or to reach your Canaan. Reactive people are people that they are like soda. Soda, immediately you shake them, they will just explode. But proactive people are people that are like water. You shake them, they are calm. They are the kind of people that if they are working with you, before you ask them, have you done this? Done. Have you done that? Done. Have you done this? Done. They are in charge of their lives. They are in charge of their situation. So it is a habit that if you inculcate, you will be unstoppable. The second habit I want us to look at is we need to cultivate resilience. Resilience is one word for emotional strength. It is the capacity to cope with stress and adversity. It comes from believing in yourself and at the same time, something bigger than yourself. When we talk about emotional strength, it means that every day is a new beginning for you. You are not going to carry the baggage of yesterday to today. You are going to, because so far as you are on earth, you will always have stress and adversity. Pain will be there, but you need to make up your mind. Which pain are you going to give attention to? Things will not always go the way you expect it to go. But there will be highs, there will be lows in your life. And I want us to use the 24-hour rule. The 24-hour rule says that if you have lows in your life and you have terrible things that have happened to you, after 24 hours, you just need to move on. And you need to move on because that failure does not define you. If you have failed in an exam, if you have failed as a parent, if you have failed in your job, if you have failed in any area, it doesn't define you. Because last week I said failure is part of the success circle. And I also went further to say that the success circle, you enter something. When you enter, you fail. When you fail, you learn. After you learn, you adapt. After you adapt, what happens? You re-enter. Another way to look at failure or anything that doesn't work out well for you is you examine why it happened, you review why it happened, you reflect, and then you learn. So it's a culture that we need to inculcate if we must succeed, if we must be unstoppable. Then even when in your highs, that is when you have done well, celebrate. I'm not saying you shouldn't celebrate, but after 24 hours, go back to work. Because success is not a destination, but it's a journey of continuous improvement. So if you want to remain relevant, then you have to, after you have celebrated, go back to work. So it is part of resilience. But most times when we have achieved, we just say, please, let's relax. And that's why you see that some businesses will go obsolete. They will just go obsolete. You see that, they were doing so well. Suddenly you don't hear of them again because they decided to rest. They decided to over-celebrate. So we don't need to over-celebrate, just as we don't need to, because tomorrow's success can cause failure today's success can cause failure tomorrow if not well managed. And remember, in your low moment, your failure does not define you. It is a stepping stone to greatness. I remember Thomas Edison, there's a quote. He said that it took him 1,000 steps to invent the light bulb. And some people said he failed 999 times, but he said it took him 1,000 steps to invent the light bulb. So whenever you don't achieve what you have, put in place, what you say is, it took me 3 steps to be able to get to where I'm getting to, or 4 steps, because I don't think it will even get to 999. I hope I hope I'm communicating, and I hope we are all here. If I'm communicating, please, can I see yes, yes, yes on the chat box? Can I see yes, yes, yes? Dr. Lynn, are you there?
Yes, ma. They can
yes.
see the yes. In fact, so many. Oh, good. Well done. Yes.
So well done, people. So I would also read this quote. Resilience is a choice. It chooses to rise above your circumstances, no matter how difficult, and become the person you were meant to be. So it is a choice. You have to make that choice. What are you going to choose? Are you going to choose to remain on the floor, or you choose to rise above whatever, is thrown at you? Without rising above that, you can never be the person you were meant to be. And I'm sure we all want to be that person that we were meant to be. And that is why we have to inculcate the habit of resilience. Very important. We are going to watch a video now, and I want us to listen attentively to the video, and then we have Q&A.
I love this quote from Jim Rohn. He said, "We must all suffer one of 2 things, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret and disappointment." See, without the pain of discipline, success is impossible. So I need you to ask yourself, do you have the courage to choose the pain of discipline? Do you have the strength to sacrifice the things that are stopping you to chase your dream? Do you have the courage to say no to your friends who are asking you to go to the party? Do you have the courage to keep working when you feel like quitting? Do you have the courage to move in forward when you feel sick and tired? Do you have the courage to keep fighting when your mind tells you to stop? If your answers are yes to all of these questions, then you have the power of discipline. You are on the right path. You are going to be learning to master yourself. You are now the members of 1% club, because 99% of the people are struggling with self-discipline. The person who masters himself through self-discipline, Buddha said that the person who masters himself through self-control and discipline is truly undefeatable. Lao Tzu said, mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true powers. Self-mastery means actually is mastering yourself. Self-mastery is being capable of making sacrifices. If you don't control your mind will control you. You don't fail in the final exam suddenly. You don't fail at business at some point. You don't fail in the job interview suddenly. You fail every day. You fail in those situations when you decide to break the discipline, when you decide to procrastinate, when you say yourself, I will do it later. You fail every day when you fail to sacrifice, fail when you stop going according to your plan. You fail when you decide to stay in your comfort zone. You get closer to failure every single day. But you can stop this. if you decide to go through the pain of discipline. It's time to stop bringing your reasons just for short-term pleasures. It's time to stop losing your focus just for focusing on unnecessary things. It's time to stop focusing on bad habits. It's time to take the ownership of your life. It's time to control your mind. Who is the owner of your life? Is it your mind or you? Who is steering your life? Who is striving? What do you want in life? Power or pain? Success or failures? Everybody wants the power or success. Forming a new habit is really, really hard. Becoming disciplined is hard. I don't have to tell you that. We all know how difficult it is to live a prosperous and healthy life. If it were easy, everybody would do it. Self-discipline is the ability to make yourselves to do things, even if you don't want to do them. That's one of the most important qualities in life. See, everyone has dreams and goals, and almost everybody starts working on their goals with motivation. But in order to achieve them, you don't need motivation. What is needed is you have to be disciplined. Because motivation gets you going, but discipline keeps you growing. I have not seen any successful person in my whole life who is not disciplined in his life. Anyone can make a list of goals, but only a few learn how to be disciplined.
Wow.
So,
Okay, so can we, one lesson or two you learned from the video?
okay, let's go. Thank from Osarugwe Juliet, say, this is amazing. Yes, please. So we can have the lessons you picked from the video. Yeah. Let's keep it coming. Okay, self-discipline about sacrifice. Thank you for that, Juliet. She said self-discipline is about sacrifice. Good. From Uwem Unique, say motivation gets you going, but discipline keeps you growing. Okay. From Edith, it's all about self-discipline. From Bifa, is successful. She said a successful person must be disciplined. From Akudo, self-mastery is making sacrifices. From Omiwusi, she said we can have either the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. From Adetunji Cynthia, discipline keeps you growing. Okay. From Ibisi, motivation keeps you going, but discipline keeps you going. So thank you everyone for that feedback. But we can continue from here now.
Thank you so much. Awesome. Wonderful feedback. Thank you. I really have very intelligent people in this webinar. So we are going to be looking at another very important habit, the practice discipline and consistency. You suffer two pains in life, whether you like it or not. The pain of discipline or the pain of regrets or disappointment. So the choice is yours. If there's something we have is, we have the ability to make choices. And self-discipline basically is being a law to yourself. It is doing what is demanded, not what is convenient. That is why it's a pain. If it was an easy thing, everybody would be disciplined. Last week, we talked about setting powerful and actionable goals. Setting it is one thing, but how doing it, acting it, that's the most important. And it will only take discipline to achieve whatever you have put down. Discipline is said to be the strength of an army. No matter how weak someone is, if the person is disciplined, the person becomes a strong person. And that's why when you go into the army or military, the first thing they do is to teach them discipline. Because when everything has gone down, it is that discipline that will keep them. So there are some people that look as if they have excelled, they are so good. What has made them to be who they are? Discipline. If you see students that have made first class, it's not like most times, I'm not saying they are not intelligent too, but you might even have people that are more intelligent than them, but what has made them to be outstanding is discipline. They have been able to put their body under control. They have been able to tell their body, this is what is necessary for this time. Is it when we talk about weight loss or weight gain? People that have been able to manage their weight, that have weight issues, there are people that have disciplined themselves to say, no, I would be very Discipline as in what comes into my mouth. I have a very good friend that had battled with weights because, you know, there are some people that will just say naturally it's in their family and they have, you know, weight issues and all of that. Not that I'm body shaming anyone, but I'm giving this testimony because of where she is now. So I think she's in her 60s, but it was just last year I saw her and I was like, wow, you have really, you know, maintained your weight. And she told me, she said, Rhoda, for once, I've decided to be disciplined. I now know the things I put in my mouth. I don't eat anyhow. By 7 o'clock, I've stopped eating, my carbs level and all of that. And looking at her now, she has lost something like 15 kg. So what am I trying to say? Because of that discipline, she has succeeded in her weight, you know, journey. So the same way we can liken it to any other journey that we are on, if we want to be there. And she has been also consistent. And that's why discipline and consistency, they go hand in hand. Work on delaying gratification and sticking to commitments. How many of us are able to stick to commitment? I will read 30 minutes every day. After we do it for the first 3 days, we stop. I will exercise every week. After we do it, we stop. So practice consistency to develop daily routines that move you to your goals. Make a commitment to stick to your routines and goals, even when motivation wanes. It's just like this class. We had it last week. A lot of people were here. A lot of people were happy and all of that. But by the second class now, many people are not able to get in. Some will have genuine reasons, but others is the consistency. After that, their motivation. That's why I say motivation keeps you going, but discipline is what keeps you growing. So the discipline to be in that class, the discipline to say, oh, I will continue this thing, even when I'm tired, even when I can't meet up. That is it. So it's a habit for winners. It's a habit for people that want to grow. It's a habit for people that want to achieve set goals and commitments. So I will read this quote from John Maxwell. Small disciplines repeated with consistency every day leads to great achievement gained slowly over time. So it's, for example, if you want to, I used it last week, if you want to bring down a big tree, or you want to even write a book, if you are disciplined every week or every day, you are writing a page or something, and you have a target for maybe 6 months or 1 week, 6 months or 1 year, before 6 months, I'm sure your book will even be completed. That is if you are consistent, not some days. Some of us will wait, lastminute.com. It is when it's last minute, we will now hurry. We will now want to write everything. First, you will make a mistake. First, it will not come out well and all of that. That is something. So when you want to succeed, you have to be consistent. The hallmark of excellence, the test of greatness is consistency. So that's the hallmark. So if you want to be great, if you want everything that you put your hand to do is excellent, then you need to be consistent. That is clear. Everybody that you see that have done so well or succeeded, they have been consistent and they have been disciplined. So I believe that is what we are all going to work towards. So we looked at 3 habits. There are so many habits to be proactive. We also looked at the habits of resilience, and we looked at the habits of discipline and consistency. Those are habits that we need to inculcate if we will be successful. We are now going to look at the 5th strategy, leverage on powerful relationships. And I'll start with this African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. No man is an island. You set up a business. Let me use the school business that I'm doing right now. You can imagine if I'm the admin person, I'm the secretary, I'm the teacher, I'm the minder, how will the organization be? It's not going to work. If I own a shop I'm the salesperson, I'm the person recording, I'm the person attending to customers, I'm doing everything. So if I have like 10 customers at the same time, how am I going to deal with that? A lot of people, after some time, they won't come to your shop because they will be like, I can't wait, I have other things to do. And right now, people don't even have that time. So you need people, but not just people, powerful relationships. Even in business, even in families. So powerful relationships are connections between individuals or groups that are characterized by strong emotional bonds, mutual respect, trust, and support. It can manifest in various contexts. It could be personal, it could be professional, or social affairs. That's why marriage is good. One person can do something good, but by the time you are two, you do better because it will be, plethora of ideas. Even what we are doing now, there are many people that have been on board. This webinar, for it to be a success, many people have been on board to ensure bringing different ideas. Unlike if I just sit down and do it myself, we will not be able to get to where we want to get to. So if you want to go far in life, you need the right people. Your inner circle, your outer circle, very, very important. So how to leverage on relationship? The first way to leverage on relationship is be a person of character. There is this saying, if you lose money, you have lost nothing, because you can always make money. There are lots of people who have lost money over and over again, but they have done well. And there are also people that they made money late, in their 60s, in their 70s. So money, you can always make money. If you lose your health, you have lost something. But if you lose your character, you have lost everything. Because character is everything. Be a person of character. Be principle-centered. To be principle-centered is someone, you have integrity, you have empathy, you have love, you have resilience, and so forth and so on. You are hardworking. So be a person. When you are someone of character, you will attract the right people. It's like the law of magnet. You attract your kind. So when you are somebody of character, you build good relationships. Not every point in time you are trying to be wise, because most times you do things and people don't say anything. It's not like they don't notice. Maybe you tell a lie to your friend. Your friend might just look at you and say, see this one. But what that will do is that your friend will not trust you. If there is something good or a business, that friend will not want to do business with you. If you are someone that you like owing people, you buy something for people, you don't pay, nobody will want to give you anything. Or if tomorrow you even have something to do, something that will be great, nobody will trust you. So if you want to leverage on relationship, then be somebody of character. Be that person that people can rely on. Be that person that people can trust. People can say, her yes is yes, her no is no, and all of that. Be that person. Another way to leverage on relationship is seek mentors and coaches. Learn from people that are ahead of you. Don't always be the head of your class. There are some people, they like being in spaces that they are everything. They don't want people to be ahead of them. You need to seek mentors and coaches. Go to them. If you go for a conference, you go anywhere, you meet people that you think are very good, go to them, approach them. I want you to be my mentor. I want you to be my coach. And then you can always have mentors by reading their books. Like I have some mentors like Mensa Otabil. I've never met him before, but I always listen to him on YouTube and all of that. So many people you learn from. I just took a quote from Joyce Meyer. I also listen to her once in a while. Joshua Selman, Oyedepo, there are so many. John Maxwell, I listened to him until I finally met him this year. And so many other people. Learn from people that are ahead of you. It will help you. So you need to leverage on such relationships. Build supportive networks. Surround yourself with people who inspire and encourage you. Join a lot of, volunteer organizations, people in your sector, join them. And it's not only even people in your sector. Like next year, one of the things I have on my bucket list is I will join a community of parents that are parenting teens. I've parented 2 adults, but I have a daughter now. So I want to join a network of parents that are, parenting. So someone said she was going to give me, a contact. So you need to build such supportive networks so that it would help you to succeed in what you want to succeed in. Take away negative influences. Minimize time with people that drain your energy, that don't add to you, that set you back. There are some people that anytime you are with them, you know that you don't achieve anything. You know that they set you back. It's all about running down people and different things. That at the end of the day, when you reflect, you say, no, I shouldn't have been in this company and all of that. So they drain your energy. So you need to take away such people from your space. Seek mutual benefits in relationships. Think win-win. Always think of what you will give. Don't think of what I will take. Always think of what am I going to give? What am I going to bring into this relationship? Because if you keep taking and taking, nobody will take you seriously. But if you are someone that gives, it's like having money in the bank and you are adding in, interest is entering, it keeps compounding. And before you know it, you would, be unstoppable. Because the kind of relationships you will build, you will be amazed. When you want anything, someone will say, I know someone that knows someone that knows someone. And that is how you just, you just get to your Canaan. The last one I'm going to talk about here is prioritize understanding before sharing your perspective. Most times, we don't even want to understand the other person's point of view. We feel we know it all. Before the person will say A, we have said B, C, D, E, F. So if you are into that, a lot of people will not want to relate with you because you don't listen actively. You don't want to listen to other people's point of view. It's all about you. Me, myself, and I. You are always, you know it all. And there's no way you can know it all. So try to, even our children, listen to other people's perspective. You might learn 1 or 2 things. Understand where the person is coming from. We had an issue with a parent. And, the issue was she was so particular about her child. It went on and on. And later, after listening to her and everything, I went back to reflect, only for me to get information that it took her a long time to have children. And because it took her a long time to have children, that is why, she was putting up with that kind of behavior. So by the time we understand other people, we will relate better with them. Before I conclude on relationship, I want us to know that there are 4 sets of people that we need in our life if we want to succeed. We need burden bearers. Burden bearers are people that will ensure that you don't fall. There are people that will be praying for you. There are people that will always be holding you. Even when you want to fall, they will tell you, no, you can't. You can't. They will keep on encouraging you. You need burden bearers. The next set of people you need connectors. People that maybe they don't have anything to give to you, maybe financially or otherwise, but they can connect you to people. They can connect you to things. It's very important that you have connectors in your life. Another set of people you need influencers. Influencers are people that are of influence. They are like your sponsors. There are people that can, because of they have influence, they can say, oh, they can carry you by the hand. If it's for people that are into contracts or whatever, they can give you jobs. They can take you to spaces. I had a colleague when I was in the bank. He was just teaching in a school then. This was early 2000. He was teaching in a school, in a secondary school in Port Harcourt. And they were paying him just 10,000 naira. But he handled a child or the children in his class so well that one parent called him and said, "What did you study?" He told the parent. And because the parent was a director in CBN, that is someone with influence, he called him and he said, "Bring your CV and all of that." And before you know it, he took him to the bank to start working in the bank. And that boy started, or man started earning something like 60K or so, which was ×6 of his salary. That is the power of relationship. He was able, because he came in contact with an influencer and built a good relationship, he was able to get to, his next level. The last but not the least that you need gifted people in your life. You need people that have gifts that you don't have. They will complement you. People that when you need certain things, you can call upon them and say, this area, I know you are good in this area. Can you assist me? Can you help me? And all of that. So please, let's not forget that we need these 4 people, in these 4 sets of people in our life as we round off this year. So before we go to the next strategy, please can someone or can anybody type the 4 sets of people we need in our lives? As I mentioned, that I just mentioned. Are we there? Dr. Lynn?
Okay, we are waiting for us to type. Let's type in the chat
Hello?
service. You can use the chat
Can you hear me?
service. We can hear you, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. We have some. Okay, let's go. First one here says, Mama J says, influencers, please do well to rename your devices so we can get to know you properly. Then we have Wusi Ogogo says the burden bearers. Then Aja Enun, gifted people. Oh, that's great. Then we have Mrs. Akudo. Oh, she just brought them all for us. The burden bearers, connectors, influencers. Again, Ifem Nacho John says the burden bearers, connectors, influencers as well. And Albert says the influencer. And Edith, burden bearers, connectors, influencers, gifted people. Mrs. Edith just gave us in bulk. Then we have Sam Dami, burden bearers,
Okay.
connectors, influencers, and gifted people. That's very good. We are following up. Aja Enon says burden bearers, Thomas, burden bearers. Then we have Mrs. Felix Gloria, burden bearers. Wusi Ogogo, influencers. Yeah, we are really following. Monte says influencers, Kesena, connectors. This is great. This is great. Then Chukwuemeka, connectors, gifted people,
Wow.
influencers, and burden bearers. This is really great. Over to you, ma'am.
Oh, wow. Fantastic. That means we are really following. So we'll go to the 6th strategy, master your time and energy. This is basically organizing and prioritizing your time in a way that you can achieve personal and professional goals while maintaining a balanced and fulfilled life. So time is an asset of equality. When I say it's an asset of equality, it means that we all have 24 hours. Whether you are black or white, you are short or tall, you are fat or slim, it's an asset of equality. It's an asset that God gave to everyone. There's nobody that has 48 hours. So it is a very, very important asset if you want to achieve personal and professional goals or want to maintain a balanced life. It's very, very important. So we need to understand effective time management. And effective time in understanding that we start with prioritization. Prioritization is beginning with the end in mind. Putting first things first is crucial. Eat that frog now. When we talk about prioritization, most times on our to-do list for the day, we will have so many things. But you know what? We will go for those things that are not important. We go for the least important things because they are usually easy to do. And then we leave the most important things. I'm sure we have heard of the Pareto principle that says that if you do 20% of what you are supposed to do, the most important thing, you will achieve everything. So eat that frog now. That difficult task, eat it now. Don't say, I want to eat it tomorrow. I want to eat it next tomorrow. You have issues. You have issues. So we need to prioritize what is more important to us. What is that thing that if I don't do, I'm going to have issues? What is that thing that if you're a student, what is the most important thing to you is studying for your, is not socializing. That's not important. That's secondary. So now if you put socializing before studying, then you are prioritizing at all. So that's it. If you go to work, if you also put socializing before doing the job, then you are not going to be a very good worker. So prioritization is key in time management. The second thing is delegation. Things that can be done by others, kindly delegate. However, there are some tasks you cannot delegate. I have to put that clause. So if you are things that you know that other people can do, especially if you're a leader and all of that, delegate it. Delegate. Then if there are some tasks, you know, there are certain things that only you can do and you are supposed, it's just like a wife. There are some tasks you cannot delegate parenting. A mother, you can't delegate parenting to anybody. House help that has not finished training herself, you now delegate your children's parenting to her, then you have issues. So there are certain things you cannot, but the ones you can delegate, like if you are in the home, you can delegate your help to clean and all of that. But there are certain tasks you have to do yourself, or if you have to even delegate, you need to supervise. The third thing is scheduling technique. You must have a schedule for everything. Don't assume you can do things on the go. If you check people that have succeeded and are unstoppable, they schedule things. In fact, some of them, if you check their diary, they have already filled it up till 2026 or 2027. I remember about 18 years ago, my husband and I went to Abuja and we had the opportunity of attending Winners Church. And the pastor then was telling us that there was a time, I don't know, he had the opportunity of seeing Bishop Oyedepo's diary. And he discovered that his diary was already full for, I think, for the next 1 or 2 years. It was full. So how can you compare yourself with such a person? And I also remember that I was listening to Bishop Oyedepo, I think last year or so, and he said Shiloh, that was in April, he said Shiloh was starting, he's supposed to hold in December, but that he had already almost completed everything about Shiloh by April. That is someone who schedules and, he works ahead. So we need to schedule things because it helps us. If somebody says, oh, I have a wedding maybe in February or so, if you have already scheduled things, you will check. Or somebody says, I want us to do this tomorrow. That will help you to manage your time properly. Because if you don't schedule things, people will be in charge of you. And when they are in charge of you, most times it will not be for your benefit. So prioritization, delegation, scheduling techniques, very, very important. So I want to use this Eisenhower matrix to tell us more about effective time management. Can we see the matrix? Can we see it? Please, if you can see it, can you tell me that you can see it? Can we see it?
Yeah, we can see it, ma'am. We can see it very
Okay, clearly.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. So we have four different quadrants here. You can see the first quadrant, the procrastinator. The second quadrant, the prioritizer. The third one, the yes man. And the fourth one, the slacker. So you need to check and review yourself or reflect, where am I on this quadrant, or where am I most times? So the first quadrant is when we are always doing things that are important and urgent. You are a procrastinator. The things you are always, they are important and urgent. Initially, I was thinking that was the best quadrant, but look at it. Why is it that these are people that are last minute people that will always wait? You won't do anything until when there's crisis. If you are supposed to submit your assignment tomorrow, it's today that you start. It can give you high blood pressure. It can make you to be sick. You are always under pressure. I'm sure you know such people. No time, I don't have time, I don't have time. So procrastinators, they are people that they always do things, pressing problem, deadline-driven project, they always do. So because of that, they're always stressed. They are always burnt out because they are always like agitated. And if you are not careful, they are also angry people. Because they are always doing, we are not saying that once in a while you will not be in this quadrant of doing important and urgent things. Maybe something can come up, your child can fall ill, something can just come up that can change the dynamics, but it should be once in a while. But if you are always in quadrant 1, then you need to examine yourself. Then we talk about people that are in quadrant 2. They are prioritizers. There are people that plan, they set their goals, they build good relationship, they recognize new opportunities, they even have time to relax. This is the quadrant that we should all aspire to be always. They're always doing things that are important, but they are not urgent. Why? Because they have planned. They have a plan. I will do this and do this time. They have a plan for even relationship. I'll be making calls. I'll call my siblings once a week or so. My children, I will have children time. I will do this. They always also have time to relax. This is a quadrant that people that prioritize, that put first things first, have the end in mind. They are always found in that quadrant. If you check people that are disciplined, they are also in this quadrant. Then you have the third set of people, the yes man. The yes man is someone that wants to please everybody, but displease yourself. Interruptions, some phone calls, distractions, other people's small problems, popular activities, peer pressure. You want to please people. You can't say no. Last week we learned we have to learn to say no at times. It doesn't make you a bad person. I remember many years ago, when I come into the office, people will call me, do this, do that. I would just be distracted. I used to be in this quadrant some time ago. And then I told myself that when I come in the morning, I'll make sure that I don't take calls, except it's very necessary, till 1 o'clock. Then I had to take off my Instagram, my Facebook from my phone. It's on my iPad so that it doesn't distract me. So it's a quadrant that we should not be in, because if you are in that quadrant, you are doing things that are not important but urgent. They are not important, but you think they are urgent. Urgent that is not really, it doesn't really make sense. Whether you do them or not, life will go on. Then the last set of people are the slackers. Trivials, they are into trivials, busy work, some phone calls, time wasters, social media, pleasant activities. I don't think anybody here will be a slacker for you to be on this call. Slackers are people that they can't even keep jobs. If you give them any work, they can't do it. They'll be on video games. They'll be on social media. They want to hear all the news about Sim and Wike fighting or anything, just things that are not important. T-Pain, what he did, what he did not do. They are just always there. So that means you're a slacker. So we should all strive to be quadrant 2, prioritizer. Once in a while, you can be a procrastinator in quadrant 1, because life happens, and when life happens, you will be in that quadrant. Then yes man, we are not saying you won't take phone calls and whatever, but it should be in your planning. We won't say you shouldn't be distracted once in a while, but it should not be a quadrant that you should be. So we should always do things that are important but not urgent. So I hope we have taken something home from this. So I want us to also put on the chat box, what are the 4 quadrants and which is the best quadrant we are supposed to be in? Can we do that quickly?
Okay, we are waiting, Where do you belong in the 4 quadrants? Are you the procrastinator? Are you the yes man? Just type it on the chat service. We're waiting for you. Okay, we have someone typing.
Yeah.
Okay, we have from Brown said the yes man. The yes man. Okay, that's it.
Good.
All right, we have from Mrs. Sanume Bisi, I'm the prioritizer. We have from Usi Ogogo, the procrastinator.
Oh, I like this. Oh, they are so honest.
Very,
So honest.
Then from
Yeah,
Rachel, we have the
fantastic.
procrastinator as well.
Okay.
Then we have from Paul. Okay, so I switch between 1 and 2.
Perfect.
And the
That's a
long-term
good one.
That's good.
That's a good one.
Then from Chioma said, I'm a procrastinator, but I intend to do better. Oh, I like that. That intend to do better. That's why we're here. Yes. Mrs. Bauer
Yes.
Briggs,
Oh,
prioritizer and also a procrastinator. Okay. Let's keep them coming. So let's know we are following.
okay.
Mrs. Inform says 2 and 3, yes. And from Kesena, the prioritizer. That's great. Then we have from Sam Dami. Sam Dami, you can rename your device so we can easily get to address you properly. We have the procrastinator, prioritizer, the yes man, and the slacker. Okay, though I fall in 1 and 3, struggling to help myself. Okay. Okay, then
Beautiful. I like.
Muna, we have between 1 and 2. Then we have from Anita Okofu. She's a prioritizer and sometimes a procrastinator. Then we have from Mr.
Yes.
Thomas, says a procrastinator. Since we have so many procrastinators, ma'am, then we have
Yes.
Adetunji Cynthia, the prioritizer. Okay. Then from Aja Enu, say sometimes a procrastinator and a prioritizer. Pius,
Wow.
Mr. Pius Ruberti, a prioritizer. We have so many prioritizers and procrastinators. Over to you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Fantastic. So I like, how honest we have been. And I just think it's something that we need to, reflect on. We need to do a self-appraisal and then we take it from there. So effective time management. So how do we manage our time effectively? The first thing is to conduct a personal time audit. And that's, how do you time audit? Auditors, they check the books, whether you have done well or you have not done well, in any organization. So now you do a personal time audit. You need to be honest with yourself. And how do you do that? Just have like a paper or something and then check what you do every 15 minutes in one day. Just use one day and be checking. And then you begin to see areas, time wasters in your life. When I did mine, I was really surprised. I was like, what? So I waste my time on this and this because, as I said, time is an asset of equality. We all have 24 hours. So even if you work for 10 hours or 12 hours, then you now sleep for 7 hours. That's 19 hours, right? Then what do you do with the remaining 5 hours? These are questions we need to ask ourselves. What do you do with the remaining 5 hours that you never have time for yourself? You never have time to relax. You never have time to read. You never have time to do anything that is good. Even these 12 hours, you have recess time and all of that. What do you do with your time? So conduct a personal time audit. Be honest with yourself. That's the first thing. The second thing is set boundaries on media and conversations and take away distractions. Allot time for media and conversations. We must set boundaries. You can't be on phone 2-4. 24 hours. You must have time for phone calls. And then you must also make up your mind that when you are in a phone call, it's not to be there for 1 hour, 30 minutes, and not, except it's something that is your relaxation time. You now want to relax with your friend, your sister, or whatever. It's your relaxation time. But you can't use quality time when you've not done the things you need to do. You will now be on, you will now be making phone calls. Conversations to the same thing. You should have time that, oh, this conversation, okay, is okay. Let's move on. You should have that time too. It will help you to maximize your time. The third thing is minimize transition times. This is time between one activity to another on your to-do list. I used to have that issue. Maybe if I put something on my to-do list, I'll put 2 to 3, for example, read. The next thing I'll do, I'll put 4 to 5. That transition time is too much. You have 1 hour transition time. Most times you find out that 1 hour transition time, you won't do anything with it. So it's best you put at least 15 minutes transition time. Then you will see how you save time to do a whole lot of things. So transition time, we need to minimize it so that we can have more time. Learn to say no. I can't overemphasize the importance of that. It's okay to say no to people or things that prevent you from being on track. I think some years ago, a younger person that is, like a mentee and a friend, she told me something and she didn't know, it was something that, I said, oh, wow. She said a neighbor of hers came to her house when I think she was reading or something. And after she welcomed her, she just said, sorry, I'm so sorry. It's not the right time to be here because like I'm doing something. It takes a whole lot, but she didn't want to be distracted and all of that. But most times we will just say, okay, and all of that. And everything you have set to do, you won't do it. I'm not saying that we shouldn't, because, I talked about leveraging on relationship. We should have relationships and all of that, but there should be time for everything. And if it's possible, do the things you need to do first. Then you can now fly. You can even use 3 days, 5 days, but you have completed the tasks you need to do. So this is talked about: conduct a personal audit, set boundaries on media, minimize your transition time, and then learn to say no. This is how you can manage your time effectively. Another way is to prioritize. I can't emphasize the importance of, prioritizing. Eat that frog now. Deal with the hard rocks before pebbles. I'm sure we all know what hard rocks are. If you want to put, maybe you have pebbles and you have hard rock in a bucket, you have to put the hard rock first. So eat that frog now, that thing that is so difficult to do. Sort it out before you go for the things that are not really, really difficult to do. So sort out those things first. Prioritize. Put first things first. Then strategic planning is key. Plan for the year, the month, the week, and the day. Have a weekly plan. I talked about Google Calendar. There are so many technological tools we can use. So it's important that you plan for the year, plan for the month, and planning for the week is very important. It's not just planning for the day. When you plan for the week, you will see a whole lot of things that, so I'm supposed to do this, I've not done this, and then you adjust daily. Another error that we make most times when we plan for the week, we believe that if we pray 5 o'clock on Mondays, we must pray 5 o'clock on Tuesdays. There's no hard and fast rule to it. Look at your Tuesday and know whether your prayer can come at 7:30 or whatever, or this can come. It must not be static or stagnant. At times, it discourages us. So when you plan for the week, it helps you. Even in clothes that you are wearing, if you plan for the week, it will help you. I have fallen into that trap severally. When I go to my wardrobe and pick clothes daily, you find out that you keep wearing the same clothes. You won't even know the clothes you have. But when you plan for the week, you will now have a wide range of, so I have this, I have that, and you will come out better. So we need to plan and adjust daily. Discipline, we've talked about discipline. Be disciplined to meet and set deadlines. Be disciplined with the things you have put on your calendar. That will go a long way. Explore a variety of digital tools. There are so many. Asana, I found one, Asana. We have so many, but the simplest one is the Google Calendar. You can download it and use. an application designed to assist you. It's very important. Build accountability and support networks. Create support systems that foster motivation and commitment to your time management goals. If you know that you are having issue with time, you can get a friend or someone that is in the same industry or space with you to assist you. I'll give you an example. We have this diction and vocabulary that we're trying to build in Dayspring. So as management, there's someone, she's like a policewoman. We got her into, she's the one that reminds us, and she will tell us, you need to. So she will just be prompting us, be nudging us. And because of that, we have all been able to meet up the target somehow. At least I was able to submit my last video, I think this week, and she said, she gave me thumbs up that, you did it, you made it. I'm sure I couldn't have done that if I didn't have that accountability or support network. So what am I trying to say? If you know that you are finding it difficult with your timing and or managing your time, you can always get people to help you. You can get someone that can be on you and ask you, Lynn, today is Thursday, have you done this? Today is Thursday, have you done this? Have you done that? And you because you don't want Lynn's problem, you would decide to do it on time. So it's very important that we build accountability partners. So I want us to write at least 3 things, 3 ways to manage our time effectively. Can we put that on the chat box, please?
Manage our time effectively. Let's have it going. How to manage your time effectively, 3 ways. All right. Okay, conduct a personal audit. Okay, thank you, Janet Ekong. Thanks for that feedback. Tega said, be disciplined. That's another way to manage your time effectively. Thank you for that, Tega. All right, keep it coming. Good. Osagwe Juliet says, prioritize your time. Akudo set boundaries. Wusi set boundaries. Ngozi Elenwa, plan and adjust daily. Grace Allos, you have an accountability partner. Blessing Coco, conduct a personal time audit. And Mr. Thomas says, set boundaries. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for your feedback. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Awesome. So the 7th strategy is to invest in personal growth. Invest in personal growth. And when we talk about personal growth, we're talking about you making up your mind that I will grow. We're not talking about, you being forced to grow. You are now intentional about your growth. You have a plan for it. You want to be a better version of yourself. In the last class, I said, if you want to grow in purpose, you need to grow in self-awareness. If you want to be a better version of yourself, you need to grow in character. If you want to grow in your career, you need to grow in your skills. If you want to grow you want to be a better spouse, a better parent, a better sibling, a better son or daughter, then you need to grow in your relationship. If you want to manage your finances better, then you need to grow by having knowledge of how money works. So these are things that you make up your mind. You need to be intentional about. It's not anybody that will now start telling you to do that. So you have to be a lifelong learner if you want to invest in personal growth. You read, you attend seminars, training, courses to expand your knowledge. It's hard work. You can't just sit and expect manna to fall. It's not going to work. So for everything, you need education. And it's so or the pain of what? Disappointment or regrets. If you're a student and you don't study, at the end of the day, you fail. They either rusticate you, they either send you out of the university if it's university, or you come out with bad grades. So that you will not start regretting. If you are someone that you are supposed to be watching your weight and you refuse to do the right thing, what happens? At the end of the day, you'll be sick and you will not be happy, and you start saying people are body shaming you. If you are someone that is working and you want to build a career, you will continue to be a mediocre. You won't go far because you have decided not to invest in your personal growth. So in all areas, you need to be a lifelong learner if you want to move up. Adapt and innovate. Change is the only permanent thing. Most of us are afraid of change. You can't unlock your potential if you don't adapt. I keep going to, how things, transformation and how things change. If, for example, the people that were manufacturing, what they call it, people that were manufacturing maybe bicycle in those days, they said, we will continue with, that will be the only means of transportation. We have to die with it. They don't improve in it. Many people, after some time, nobody will be dealing with you. You will just be obsolete. Success today, if not managed properly, will become failure tomorrow. And that's why you see a lot of people that have made money and have built big companies. By the time they are handing it over to their children, if their children don't want to improve on what is there, that business will just die. We've seen a lot. And then it doesn't mean that because you have been in a business for 100 years, you are not going to innovate. If you don't innovate yourself, right now we are in the technology age. If you want to still be using, for example, people were using typewriter before we started using computers. People that insisted that they want to continue with typewriters, nobody will go to them. They will just be, they will be nowhere. So if you want to be unstoppable, then you need to adapt and you need to innovate. Let me use this quote by George Shinn. He said, growth means change, and change involves risk. Stepping from the known to the unknown. Most of us don't want to leave our comfort zone. We don't want to go to our challenge zone. If you don't move from your comfort zone to your challenge zone, you can never succeed. You remain a mediocre. And I know that all of us on this call, we want a change. We want to be better versions of ourselves. We want to be unstoppable. And you will be an unstoppable you if you can put all these strategies to work. Remember, learn a little and do a little. I would want us to put on the chat box at least 2 things that we got from today's class. 2 things before we summarize.
Wow. Thank you so much, Ma. This has been so insightful. Beloved people, can we have 2 things you've gotten from this session as we want to wrap up? Okay, I can still take a few comments from the other time. Powell Brick says, conduct personal audits, set boundaries, and okay. Blessing Afia say, prioritize, delegate, and schedule. Then Kasiana is responding to these 2 things he has gotten from the session. He says it's good to plan ahead and be disciplined. That is very key. Thank you for that feedback. Yes, we'd like to get a few more feedback from what you've learned from this session. Okay. Muna Amma says, invest in personal growth. Janet Ekong says, I need to be intentional to become a successful person and maintain that success. Mr. Paul says, time management and setting priorities. Okay. Be self-disciplined. Personal development is key. The power of resilience and good relationship, that's Brown. Okay. Did we miss any other one? Let's see. Aja Enun says, personal development is key. Be a lifelong learner. Okay, we'll see.
It's
Ogwagwa says, I need to manage my time better if I'll achieve my goals. Edith says, I want to grow in purpose, so I'll work on my self-awareness and be more disciplined. All right. And for your feedback. Thank you.
wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much for the feedback. So in summary, you need to take actionable steps today by adopting strategies such as self-awareness, setting powerful and actionable goals, mindset mastery, building powerful habits, leveraging on powerful relationships, mastering your time and energy, and investing in personal growth. By doing so, you will unlock your potential and become an unstoppable force in achieving your goals. So it's important that we put all these strategies in place. But remember, it starts with you. And you have all it takes. It's a mindset. Sow a thought and it becomes an act. Sow an act and it becomes a habit. So an habit, it becomes a character. So a character. And it becomes what? Your destiny. So I leave you with that quote. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ma.
God bless you.
Thank you, thank you. We've been so inspired. This has been so insightful, so enriching, and we are grateful. Thank you so much, Ma. So I'd like to take a few more comments before we ask if there are questions. Okay, so I'll take from here. Marco says transition time must be managed, and then consistency is important. From Fonte, I've learned to listen more. Then our dear chairman says, what motivation keeps you going while discipline keeps you growing? So we have a few more that we'll take. Okay, happiness must say discipline and personal growth. And all right, so many thanks from everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It has been an amazing time with all of us. And we want to find out if there are questions. We'll take one or two questions, and then we would like to hear from you. So if you have any question, you can put it on the chat box, or you can indicate by using the emoji, raise your hand, to seek permission to speak, so that we can take one question or two. It has been such an amazing experience. Thank you so much, Ma. Thanks for sharing with us from your wealth of knowledge, from your experience. We are grateful for this opportunity. Any question, people? Or you want to send a personal, you want to do that? Okay, else you can ask your questions, yeah? You can drop in the chat service, or you can ask to be unmuted. Anybody, Mr. Moses, kindly check if there's any hand up that wants to ask any question. Yeah, from Grace, she says, thank you so much, ma'am. It has been an amazing seminar. And then maybe say, thank you, ma'am. Great learning experience and time. This is from Janet Ekong. I think we can take the thank you messages while we wait for any questions. Okay. All right. And now says, thank you. Thank you. There are lots of thank you messages. Thank you. Thank you. We thank you too for taking out time to enrich yourself with this session. Thank you so much. Okay. I think we have one message. Let's see if it's a question. Okay. Many thanks from many people. Miriam Abrume, and a whole lot of them. Thank you. So Rachel says thank you. It has been mind-blowing. Yeah, so I think at this point, since there are no questions forthcoming.
Sorry, ma'am.
Okay, is there someone?
Sorry to interrupt. There's a question here from Osarugwe. Juliet.
Oh, that means we have two, because I've just seen one too from, okay, Mr. Moses, is it in the chat box?
Yes,
so I can
yes. He said, what do you advise for a person who always walled between phone and laptop? I think the question is to you, Dr. Rhoda. I said, what do you advise for a person who always walled between phone and laptop? I think
that is you walk. I didn't get the question. Can the person what do they call it? Unmute and ask the question so that we can get clarity.
Osarugwe Juliet, I will unmute you so you can speak to us and we can get your questions properly. Thank you.
I should be unmuted.
There's a prompt. Yes, she
Hello,
is.
good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Juliet.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. I really
Okay,
appreciate
please,
it.
can you
Okay.
throw more light on your question?
Yeah, okay. So, due to the nature or the position I hold in my school, okay, so using a school now,
Yes.
either on the phone responding to inquiries or parents.
Okay.
When I'm not on social media, I'm also the one handling the social media page, and all
Okay.
that. If I'm
Okay.
not doing that, I'm supposed to be on my laptop, maybe preparing worksheets, preparing notes, and all those other things. So immediately I'm dropping my phone, the next option is to pick my laptop. But at the end of the day, I noticed I'm not able to read. I'm not able to do so many things. I do a lot of trainings, but implementation is difficult because it's as if I'm trapped between phones, laptops. So that's the
Okay.
question. Thank you, ma'am.
All right, beautiful. So, I talked about delegation. If you are the visionary, you are the person that has the vision of your school. So your work should be mostly vision. But now you are doing these petty things. So something is going to suffer. And what's going to suffer is that you are not going to have time to be thinking the new ideas and also checking. Let's go back to scriptures. Even the disciples, a time came that they said, please, let's appoint deacons and deaconesses so that they will serve tables so that we can give ourselves to prayers. At times, it looks as if it's expensive, but you can't be the one doing an inquiry. No, delegate it to someone. Social media, you have to delegate to somebody. At times, you have to pay. It's just like in your house. You want to now be, you are a working mom, and then in the house now, you want to be the one cleaning, you want to be the one doing, at the end of the day, to be jack of all trade, master of none. So it is only when, that's why things you can delegate. And I know we all have this thing that if I don't do it, nobody can do it well. No, it's not possible. You'll be surprised that there are people that can do it better than you, even the inquiries. So please, you need to set time, or if you want to continue doing that, give yourself, but then something will suffer. So I'll just advise that find someone, and they are very good with all these things. You just teach them what to do. Trainers, then the social media is what they love. So you can just get one person to do that. So that's the advice I'll give to you. I hope it's okay by you, Juliet. I hope I answered your question. Thank you so much. Thank you. Lynn, please unmute. Dr. Lynn, can you unmute? Dr. Lynn, we can't hear you.
Oh my God. Okay. I think, can you hear me now,
Okay.
please?
Yes, please, we can.
All right. So we can continue with just one more question, and then this person, Im Natural John, says, what should be done? Before I answer your question, someone asked if there's a community for this. Yes, we do have a community. So you know the Rota Consult phone number that sent you the message, you can just drop your phone number and name, that will add you to the community. So we have a community for the mastermind classes. So back to him, Natural John's question. He said, what should be done when one is working in a highly toxic environment? So I think this question is for you, Ma. Yeah.
Okay. When you are working in a highly toxic environment, I just think you do what you need to do. When I mean do what you need to do the right things. If you do the right thing, it might take time, but you will achieve what you need to achieve. Most times we are not patient. We are not resilient because we give up too easily. We give up too easily. So do the right thing. Be hardworking. Because I know that even if you are hardworking, even your enemy will be at peace with you when you do the right thing. I'm not saying that, and then If nothing works, I think you take yourself out of the toxic environment, because there are some environments that will also destroy you, because you are a product of your observation, your teaching, and your learnings. So if you have done all you need to do and nothing is happening, then I think you take yourself out of that toxic environment. But that's not the first option. You might be the Bible that they are waiting to read.
Yeah.
I've heard testimonies of people, working in some kind of environment, and then they made the change. Be the change that you want to see. Be that change. I hope I've answered your question. Yeah, sure.
Okay, thank you so much.
Have I answered your question, please?
Okay, yeah, Nacho, you
Okay.
can drop an emoji or something, so we know that you've gotten insights. All right, thank you so much, Ma. I think for now we'll draw the curtain. There are a few other questions, but okay, maybe we should take one more from Wusi Ogogo. She said, when one learns to be consistent in following routine, and at some point you get to drop the ball along the way, how do you get back? Okay, from Mommy Wusi Ogogo, she says, how can you get back on track to remain consistent if you dropped along the way?
We didn't get you.
Oh, that means
We didn't
it's
get your
only
network or so. It's
I guess it's
dragging.
my network. Is my volume
Okay,
better
so you
now?
can go on. Yes,
Okay.
we can hear
So
you.
for
I can
Mommy
hear you.
Wusi, she says, how can you get back on track if you stop on the way, if you fall by the wayside? How do you get back to become consistent again? So she would want a bit more insight on that.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much. That has happened to me. I'll give you an example. Yeah, I think, Lynn, we had like 3 or 4 last year. This mastermind,
Yes, ma'am.
I think we had 3 or 4 last year, and it was really
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
And this year I had planned to like 3, but life happened. From January, it was one issue to the other. One thing happened, another thing happened, and by the time I was trying to organize myself, something else would happen. But what did I do? I decided to say, it's already the end of the year, but I said I must hold. So when you fall, you don't lie down, you get up. Successful people, when they fall, they get up and continue the race. You continue the race, you examine yourself. Okay, why was I not consistent? You review it, you reflect on it, and then you learn from it. So it's not something that you should not just stay down, get up and continue, but you need to examine yourself, appraise yourself. Why did I fail? And then take those things away so that you can continue. Everybody fails, everybody falls. That's the truth. But you have to stand up and continue the race as someone that wants to be successful. So thank you so much. Wuse, I hope
Thank you so
answered your
much, ma.
question.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, she responded. She said, thank you. Yes, ma. So thank you, everyone. So before we get the final goodbye from Dr. Rhoda. Yeah, I think the rest, the other one has been responded to. Someone wants to join the community. So I think we've already sorted that out. So, ma, so can we draw the curtain here?
Yes.
Okay.
So thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you all for your time. Thank you for, but please, everything you have learned, please do something about it. Do something about it. Act on it. Don't just go home with it and keep it under your pillow or under your bed. Unlock your potential. You have the capacity to be unstoppable, and you are unstoppable.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much,
Dr.
ma.
Lynn.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thanks for taking our time to learn with us today and last week. Thank you. Can you hear me loud and clear? Can you hear me? I think my network is acting up a
We
bit.
can hear you, ma'am.
Okay, so thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Moses, behind the scenes, doing your thing. Thank you, Blessing. Thank you, Dr. Rhoda Parasobiti. We have been so blessed, so enriched, so elevated by all we've learned today. And thank you, everyone, for showing up. But learning is a journey, growth is a journey, and then what keeps you growing? Motivation keeps you what? Going, but discipline keeps you growing. So how do you discipline yourself? By planning for the year ahead. And for that, we've already put together something amazing for you to grasp, for you to glean on next year. So we have mastermind classes coming up first quarter of the year, and you can indicate interest right away because we have limited slots available. So the Rota Consult, there are several avenues to reach out. The website is there, so you can go to our website, Rota Consult website. You can also reach us via the phone number that sent you messages to indicate that, look, I know the seats are limited, but I'm in, so that we know how many people can take in that class. So thank you so much, everyone. So while we prepare, also expect to hear from us. We'll also send the feedback link to get feedback from you as we get the trainings and how we can get better and how we can improve. So thank you, everyone. We really appreciate your time and attention. Thank you. Don't just throw this away. Make sure you take it up, use it, grow with it. And when we meet next year in our mastermind classes, we want to see results. We have a lot of testimonies from past classes, and we want to also see you testify. Hallelujah. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for coming. Thank you for your time. Thank you for everything. Thank you, Dr. Rhoda. We really appreciate you. Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Bye,
So
everyone.
have a beautiful evening.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye.